Hi, my name is Avery Williams. Thank you for joining me today. Today we're going to learn how to deploy a Cisco 3750 52 port switch into a production environment. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, down here at the bottom of this page right here, let me go ahead and get. Okay, we got, would you like to enter initial configuration dialog? That comes up when a switch has been wiped clean. This one I went ahead and erased configuration. It's clean. So I want to put no, because we're going to configure this bot manually. Okay, now we're in user exec mode. What we're going to do next is we're going to go into privilege exec mode. We're going to do this by typing enable. Okay, now we're in privilege exec mode. But we want to get to configuration mode so we can do some configurations of the switch. So what we're going to do is we're going to do configure terminal. Okay. And now we got down here. Now you see the config, and you see where the pound sign. So we're in configure. We're in global configuration now. So what we're going to do now is we are going to set up the host name. Go host name, and we're going to do Acme SW1. Okay, host name is set up, and the next thing we're going to do, we're going to set up logging synchronous. That makes it so that I can, when I enter commands, the log messages won't interrupt it, won't come up and break up my text. In other words, my text will move down underneath, so it won't break up, so we can tell what we're typing. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do line console 0. And we're gonna do logging synchronous. All right. So we got that taken care of. So we'll exit this right here. And the next thing we're gonna do, we're gonna put a password on this so it can be secured. That's going to go enable secret. Now we could go here, we could put enable password and put a password, but if you do that, it'd be in clear text, and that's something we don't want. So I'm gonna put secret as the password. Normally you would you create a secure 16 minimum characters, special characters, a real secure password, so nobody can get it, and nobody can log in unless they need to be. All right, so we're gonna set for secret. All right. Then next we're gonna go ahead and put our domain name in there, and our domain is gonna be acme.local. So we're gonna put IP domain dash name, and then we're gonna go acme.local. Okay, now that's done. Now the next thing we want to do, we want to go ahead and start setting up our communications, our method of communication with this device. In order to do that securely, we need to enable the SSH. But first of all, the first step in doing that, we need to create crypto keys. So we're going to put crypto key. Okay, and then generate RSA. Now down here it's saying how many bits in the modulus. Okay, if you do anything less than 768, you will be forced to use IP version or SSH version 1.99, but we want to use IP version 2. So we're gonna go. So I'm gonna make it 1024. All right, and we're rolling right along here. Okay. Okay. See, SSH 1.99 has been enabled. So what we're gonna do IP SSH version 2.0 or 2. All right. Very good. So now, next thing we're gonna do, we're gonna go ahead and shut down the ports. So we're going to do internet interface range fast Ethernet 1, 0, 1 through 48. Okay, we're going to shut down. And here they go. All right. It's a lot easier typing that in than each doing each of them one at a time. Then we're going to type in a description. Then we're going to do not in use. All right. And then we got another one. Then we got 4 more gigabit ports we got to do the same thing with. So we're going to do interface range G1 0 1 0 1 through 4. All right, then we're going to do a shutdown. All right. Then same thing, description, not in use. Okay, so now we got all the ports shut down. So now what I consider to be in somewhat safe position here. So we're going to exit out of this. Okay, next thing we're going to do, we're going to take we're going to create a VLAN 44, and we're going to put the first port in VLAN 44. So we're going to do this. We're going to do it this way. We're going to do interface F101. Okay, and then what we're going to do here is we're going to do switch port access VLAN 44. Okay, now I didn't have a VLAN configured on the switch prior to, but now now that we move the port to it, it's automatically creating it. And then what we want to do while we're on here, we want to do no shut down. Okay, so we got our managed VLAN set up, and we also want to do a description while we're here. So keeping things real. Okay, I'm just put management. Okay, then the next thing we want to do is we want to exit out of here. Go VLAN 44. Conf T VLAN 44. Okay, then we're going to go into the configuration there. We're going to go name management. So that's going to put that's going to name that VLAN management. So if we go in, we go into, let's see, show. We're going to do a show VLAN brief. Oh. And it's going to show VLAN. It's going to show the one port 44 management. And it's going to show it as active. And it's going to show our one port we have over there. Okay. You can use any VLAN you want, but VLANs 2, 3, 4, and 5 are basically unusable. They're for legacy there, and most of those you probably won't ever see in an environment. But they're legacy. You can't delete them, so you can't reuse them for anything. So they're stuck there. The VLAN number 1 is the default VLAN, and it's not security-wise. It's not safe to put your management VLAN on VLAN 1. Although others have done it, I would suggest it. So, and on to our next. Okay, so next thing we need to do. Okay, we got our managed VLAN. I guess we need to give it a IP address. So we're going to go interface. We're going to go to conf T, and then once we do that, we're going to go interface VLAN 44, and then we're going to do IP address 192.168.10.1. and with a subnet mask of 255.255.255.0. Alright, so that's done. And then we're going to do no shut. And then we're going to check our configurations again. So I'm going to go back to the privilege exec mode. And I'm going to do show IP interface brief. Alright, so here we see we have our VLAN is unassigned, and that's good. We don't need that. We don't need VLAN number 1. We need VLAN 44 has got up status, down protocol. And then our Fast Ethernet 1 is manual, it's up, but it's down. Basically what that means is the protocol, there's nothing's connected to it yet. I have nothing switches. I mean, the protocol's up, and as far as the Fast Ethernet 1/0/1, I have nothing connected to it. The port is down, everything, there's no connection to it. So, but we're going to get to that towards the end. Alright, so next thing we need to do is we need to set up our SSH. So what we need to do is go conft, then line VTY 0 and 15. Alright, so we're going to do transport input SSH, and then we're gonna set a username and password for this. Is our next what we're gonna do. Okay, so we're gonna have to exit out of here. And then we're gonna put username admin password secret. Okay, now it'd be good to have a little, if you have just one network engineer or two network engineers, but you need to have at least two people here in case one person fails or has to leave the company or can't show up, you won't be locked out of the switch. But you ought to have at least two people. You put a username, create each individual their own username or user IDs and their own passwords so they can have access to the switch. Now, in an area where you're adding the switch to a bigger network, most likely be using Radius, and that'd be more of a centralized authentication method of logging in. But in this case, we're just preparing a switch for a small environment. So right now we're just using admin for username and secret as the password. All right. So next we're going to go back to line VTY 0 and 15. Oh, didn't mean a slash there. 15. Okay. Then we're going to do login local. Alright, and next thing we want to do, we want to save our work. So WR, which means write. We're going to put WR, which means write we're going to build a configuration. Now the configuration and the running config and start config should be the same. Let's go ahead and let's do show run. Okay, as I said, okay, switch port, description, okay. We're going to go down. Okay, not in use, not in use, not in use. Okay, shut down. Okay, right here our VLAN 44 is configured. Everything looks good so far right through here. Everything looks good so far. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to show IP and interface brief. Alright, everything's looking good so far. So what we're going to do is, now that we saved our configuration, we're going to connect up our switch to our computer. Okay, I'm going to put, okay, now hooked. Okay, so we're going to take a look at the NIC on the network card. It's going to be interfacing with VLAN 44. I've got several network interface cards or NIC cards in my computer. One of them's configured for VLAN 44. So we're going to look at the configuration of the card to make sure. Alright, we're going to go up here to Network Sharing Center and change adapter settings. Okay, we got Cisco. This is the one I've got hooked up going to the switch. Okay, we got, for this right here, we got 192.168.10.100 for the address. That should work. Okay. So that right there should work. So we got the same subnet, so we should be good to go. Alright, so close that out. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we are going to pull up a putty session. Alright, there we go. And we're going to do SSH. It'll be 10.1. Alright, what's happened is pull up this screen right here. Host key does not match the one putty is cached for the server. Okay, then now what's going to do is say, do you accept this key? We're going to accept it because now from here on out when we try to log into it, it won't ask that anymore. So now we've got the screen right here where it says login as, and we're going to do admin. It's asking me for a password. Alright, we're in the switch. We can do everything that we were able to do before on this one back here on the serial port. Okay, so we're going to go ahead, since we're going to go ahead and we're going to enable, because I'm calling for a password like it should. Alright, show IP interface brief. Alright. So, alright, so we connected. So now this switch is ready to go in the environment. The switch would go actually into a rack and the jump server would be configured to be on VLAN 44 as well. And that means that, and then of course connected to VLAN 44, you can jump over that server, and that server should be able to get you over to the switch. Now, the one thing that most people don't talk about or that needs to be discussed is documentation. Okay, so let me bring up some documentation and show you what I'm actually talking about. All right. Now this is a sample document of what my network looks like. Okay. Now, you see over here, I've got several different connections. I got my PCs connected to gigabit 1/0/2, and that's the IP address, that's the device name, and the connection speed. If something happens on my network, I should be able to automatically pull this up and look at it, so I can go about troubleshooting. And as far as these rooms over here, that's just a sample of what it would be like if I was in a building where room numbers would be applicable. So that if one of your users was having a problem, you can find the room number, which would show you what the port would be, and then from there you can start to troubleshoot. You can also look over here on the status, whether it's active, inactive. Somebody maybe just moved in that office, and they call you up, say, I'm in office 105, and I can't get on the network. Well, this is why, because you'd have to go ahead and get their PC configured to the port, set them up, then they could do that. And then of course if something happens, you can always go back and look at what's going on. As far as my sheet here, as you can see, I've also got basically a diagram of what my network looks like. I got my main router coming from the internet, coming into my switch. From my switch, I've got 3 wireless points. And those 3 wireless points, each of them are different subnets. They can't talk to each other, but they all got their purpose. I've got one of them that's got the TVs on it. I've got one of them that's got all my other IoT devices. For example, my Alexas and smart light bulbs and all that stuff is on another one. And then I've got one that I use for PCs and phones. And then, so if my TV catches a virus, it's not going to spread it, or a worm. It's not going to spread it up through here. It can only keep it within this stay off my other two wireless networks. So, anyways, I hope you enjoyed this today. I enjoyed making it, and I hope you enjoy the video, and I hope you all have a nice day. Thank you for watching.